Hello Toastmasters, so this is my first presentation here, and as I understand of chapter 1 we have to make ourselves being better known around, and I started by the other way around. I picked a philosophical argument I want to make since I am a philosopher of garage, and but the anecdotes will rise out of it. I have 3 of them that will hopefully expose much more about myself, and I guess all the topic exposes much more of who I am truly. So let's dive in it. The topic is lies, and I'm gonna start by saying some scientific data here that cannot be contested. Well, there is at least one study which shows that first of all, we all have somehow an intuition that lying is wrong, right? I hope. But yet 10% of spouses' communications tend to be deceptive, and 30% of university students' conversations contain at least a lie. And this incurs on less satisfactory relationships, as you might guess. Indeed, there is even research that shows this. And even the liar, the one who deceives the other, tends to form an image of the deceivee, the people who is being deceived upon, to be less trustworthy. So when we are the liars, we even make the other person who is receiving the lie less trustworthy. So it's a recipe for disaster. It's hard to find a more well-practiced thing in our lives that causes more lack of good relationships. And the first and I guess the most common, and we might even think moral kind of lies, are the white lies. Those we talk to the benefit of others, maybe out of compassion or sympathy. We regarding ourselves even moral in these situations. But if you scrutinize every case, you will see that they don't hold the philosopher mindset. For example, when I ask for my blog, when I'm a writer, when I write a post and ask for feedback from my friends, usually I see 2 clusters of people. Those who says, "Wow, it's great, keep it up," and say that everything is awesome, and those who give me concrete feedback. It's not even necessary to say that the second group is much more trustworthy in my eyes. Their feedback is much more valuable. I know that when they give me praise, it's not mere flattery. They are not avoiding the need to review my things, and they are saying to me, "Well, this is not bad. Well written, you could change to that, you could improve in other ways." So those people which provide you with honesty are much more trustworthy in the eyes of the receiver than otherwise. Also, being honest, committing to honesty, is a way to form deeper, more true relationships with others. I recall and when you don't, you obviously tends to fall in the trap of mistrust. I recall my parents' divorce, where my father, the thing that struck me the most, my father cheated my mother, and the things that struck me the most of all the situation was my mother saying that the problem is not the cheating, the problem was that my father wasn't honest. And what if they were honest? Well, I guess they might be still together. Maybe my father would even they are very open-minded. They could very well start a conversation of having an open relationship, I don't know. But the lack of honesty don't get any progress. If you have to stick with something, stick with honesty, and well, maybe very well that you want something other of life, but the being bound for forever with one person. And speaking honesty will provide you that. You might even live forever with one person and have other relationships if you want to. Also, committing to the truth bring any dysfunction to the table. I recall anecdote from my life that while I was writing my final thesis for my university degree, I first of all, from out of lack of communication, I had totally unnecessary expectations out of it. I had a big ego as well, and I want to write much more than those poor my colleagues that aren't able to do anything of value. So I want to do proper science and proper value to the table, and that made me lose a lot of time write a very much bigger version of my thesis. And when my lecturer asked me for feedback, I was very ready to say it was everything alright, but the fact it wasn't everything alright, and it took much longer for me to graduate because of that, and I would otherwise. And every time people asked me how is things going, I always said it was great, but in the end I suffered a lot. I was able to graduate, hopefully, but I wrote something that was totally out of modality. I received feedback out of it as well, and it's not great when you don't talk with people. You don't clarify things enough. When you hide the problems, you end up in situations like that. And this is general to life. Every dysfunction, if you commit yourself to tell all the truth, whatever is going inside your mind, you bring every dysfunction to the table and you correct it earlier. And you might very well discover that if some relationships cannot be maintained this way, and then you fix your life by changing your relationships. In the end, then, I guess my message is, it's hard to build trust, and it's very easy to lose. When we commit to telling the truth all the time, we open the conversation for deeper bounds. We don't have to, when we lie, in the other hand, we have to make a commitment to the future to play that version of our fake world, and when we take the truth for our commitment, reality is our check. So it's much easier to keep it up with reality. I guess this is my message, and well, thank you. Yes.